And so what are the chances of leaving on October the 31st now?
Well, there's still a slim chance that if the Labour Party agreed to a very limited extra bit of time, you could run that round the clock. So in other words, it doesn't really add an extra day or so. You just do it all. You can get 25 hours of debate in one day, you know. So that's how we'd have done it in days gone by. Then you might still get back onto schedule. It would hugely depend on the Lords. The Lords is quite capable of talking and talking and talking and then doing nothing else. So there is the outside possibility. But I think the government recognises now they've reached a stage where if they can't make the 31st, which is their pledge, they have to have an election. And the honest truth is, as you've witnessed now for 3 years, what happens when you don't have a majority in this place, when you don't have a government, this place just collapses.
Well, an alternative to an election, though, is to try and craft another timetable, and Jeremy Corbyn seemed to offer that yesterday. Isn't it worth trying that before the election route?
Yes, beware of the Greeks bearing gifts. If you really examine what he's actually asking for, he's trying to get 3 more days. 3 more days, he knows very well, would break the 31st deadline. So it's a little tautological game that he was playing.
But with a short extension, you could call it a technical extension, you could have a few more debating days. That's what some MPs, at least in the House behind us, want, just more time to analyse it.
The extension's not in our gift because it's the EU. And if the EU offers a longer extension to 3 months, then the government is left then deciding to try and get a bill through with a 3-month extension, which means this place will just occupy the 3 months. And so you might enjoy this, but I don't, which is this endless debate.
We love being here in the cold and the mud. But, I mean, Boris Johnson could lean on the leaders to give a shorter extension.
Well, he could do. We have no idea. So no doubt they'll come back and tell us what they want. But I think the key thing for Boris Johnson is everywhere you turn, there is a bit of a nightmare. So if they get agreement with Labour, it goes into the Lords. The Lords will hang this thing with amendments like a Christmas tree, comes back to the Commons. The government doesn't have a majority in the Commons to knock those ones down. They can put wrecking amendments on, they can put joining the customs union, which is a wrecking amendment. If you can't get rid of those, now you've got a bill you don't want, because it's no longer the thing that you ever actually negotiated with the EU, and the EU won't want it, because it will break what the treaty agreed. So now you're back to square one, but only you've just taken a bit more time.
When would you hold an election if you were still running the party?
I think you'd have to have it almost immediately. The problem now you're into is the Fixed Term Parliament Act, which
it's a lovely season for an election as well.
Well, winter is never a great time to hold an election, but having said that, the British people are sick and tired of the delay anyway. But my main point is that the Fixed Term Parliament Act you have to get over. So you've got the problem with the bill, but you also got the problem with the Fixed Term Parliament Act. Most people watching this don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but the reality is it has locked us into the fact that we can't call an election. But
the Labour Party has signalled, but at least our understanding at Bloomberg is that the Labour Party has signalled that they would be OK with this now, as long as the no deal is off the table, that they might OK an election.
I don't believe a word they're saying on this, I'm afraid. They've gone in 180 degrees in different directions on every comment they've made. So they were given the opportunity for an election twice. They voted against it twice.
Because no deal was a possibility.
Well, they say that, but in reality what they're actually after is trying to stop Brexit being an issue at the next election. And so they're scared stiff. They're running way behind the Conservatives in the polls. They don't really want an election. I know no Labour MP who says, give me an election, actually, when they're telling you truthfully that this is the game. So Labour is in a game of trying to somehow edge the Conservatives into a morass around this Brexit arrangement. And the moment we let go of the 31st, we then release control of this place. And that's the problem. So the government needs to get an election date set and away with it. And otherwise, we're going to just meander like this for years to come.
Okay.